Time for an AFN News Update. I'm Bronson Woodruff. Violent storms and tornadoes hit from Oklahoma to Indiana overnight Wednesday. Dozens of tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings were issued Wednesday and early this morning, all the way from Texas to West Virginia, as storms hit those and other states. Sergeant Clark Parrott of the Missouri Highway Patrol said at least one person was killed in southeast Missouri, according to KFVS-TV. Part of a warehouse collapsed in a suburb of Indianapolis. At least one person was trapped inside for a time. In northeast Arkansas, a rare tornado emergency was issued as debris flew thousands of feet in the air. The Tennessee Emergency Management Agency announced early today 2 weather-related deaths confirmed by the State Department of Health. One was in McNairy County, the other was in Obion County. New tariffs announced by President Trump brought a bunch of reactions: dismay, threats of retaliation measures, and urgent calls for talks to find ways to rescind the stiff new import taxes imposed on goods from countries around the world. The import taxes range from 10% to 49%. Trump said Wednesday that they would do to U.S. trading partners what they have long done to the U.S. He says they will draw factories and jobs back to the U.S. Quote, "Taxpayers have been ripped off for more than 50 years, he said, but it's not going to happen anymore. Lithuania's political and religious leaders joined thousands of people today to say a final goodbye to 4 American soldiers. We're told they died during a training exercise in the Baltic nation. President Gitanas Nausėda and other dignitaries were among those who stood in respect as hearses carried the bodies of the 4 young Americans to Vilnius Airport before being flown to the U.S. for burial. The Army said the soldiers were part of the 1st Armored Brigade Combat Team, 3rd Infantry Division. They were on a tactical training exercise when they and their vehicle went missing a week ago. The armored vehicle was pulled out of a peat bog Monday, and the final body was recovered on Tuesday. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said today that he will pull out of the city's Democratic primary. He said he's going to run for re-election as an independent after his recently dismissed federal bribery case heavily damaged his ability to mount a campaign. In a video, Adams said he will not run in the Democratic primary in June because his criminal case dragged on too long, while the, quote, "false accusations were held over me," end quote, preventing him from campaigning. Adams is quoted as saying, "I firmly believe that this city is better served by truly independent leadership, not leaders pulled at by the extremists at the far left or the far right, but instead those rooted in the common middle, the place where the vast majority of New Yorkers are firmly planted." That's a wrap for this AFN News Update. More on the stories you just heard, as well as more news from a Christian perspective, can all be found on our website, afn.net. That is afn.net. Thank you for watching. I'm Bronson Woodruff.